In spite of my very best intentions to not buy books this month, I bought a lot. I know I just did a book haul a few weeks ago, but I have another one. The self-control was not my greatest strength over the past few weeks. Okay, don't look at me like that. I know you're judging. And if you're not, you're enabling. And we love that here. So before we get into the books today, I have got to crack a beer. And I had a beer picked out for this, but I drank it. And because I've been struggling with my camera and my husband's appendix burst, and I had to put together my beautiful new bookshelf here because I didn't have enough with the 8 I already have around my house. So it's been a while. It's been a struggle. And so I drank the beer that I was going to have with this video. So I went for something that's also quite eclectic. And this is the Dune Hopper Raspberry Moon Stout. And this is like Raspberry Moon, like the cookies. So I think it's a marshmallow and raspberry pastry stout. I'm going to get into this one today and talk about the stairway of books that I have sitting here. You can't see it, thankfully, so you can't judge me too hard. But there's a lot of eclectic stuff in here. So I wanted kind of an eclectic beer. So let's get into it. I'm not a huge stout fan, generally, but anything with raspberry is good with me. Oh my God, that is so good. Holy crap. Okay, this is really good. It's got a ton of raspberry flavor and like a surprisingly good marshmallow flavor. I find a lot of the time marshmallow can end up translating to vanilla. This does not. It legitimately tastes like raspberries and marshmallows. Wow, that is super, super good. I can't believe that. Dune Hopper Brewing, by the way, is in Bloomfield, Ontario. And man, that is an excellent, excellent beer. Wow. All right. Wow. Now that I can, get over the deliciousness of this beer, let's get into the books. So first off, I'm going to go through my Aardvark subscription box books. I have 2 months worth here, so I have March and April's books. And in my March box, I got 3 books, of course. The March book that I chose was After the Fall by Edward Ashton, who wrote Mickey 7, which was then converted into the TV show Mickey 17. It's a sci-fi that is set like 100-ish years after aliens have invaded and won the Earth. They call it the Fall. And it follows this guy who is now like a pet of one of the aliens. So these aliens basically made humans into pets for all intents and purposes, hence the cover. This was kind of a cover buy for me. I do love sci-fi, but I generally like it to be more spacey. So interested to read this one, and I do love this cover so much. Next up in my March box, I got a slightly older book, Marie Theroux, This House Will Feed. And this is a Gothic haunted house set in the Irish potato famine. And so this young woman goes to work in this old mansion as a chambermaid or a maid of some sort. And if you are a big fan of Pride and Prejudice, as I am a huge fan, you will enjoy the fact that she goes to work for a woman named Lady Catherine. And we love to hate on some Lady Catherines around here. So I am excited to see what will happen with Lady Catherine in this book. Also, gorgeous cover. Love this so much. And who doesn't like a haunted house book? I think I got a few haunted books in this haul. And finally, in my March Aardvark box, I got Burn Down Master's House by Clay Kane. And I thought this was a horror when I picked it out. I think it is actually more of a historical fiction. And it's like a few stories from a few men who were slaves in the Revolutionary War time in the southern USA. And their sort of stories. And I am very interested to read this. I believe it was a February book because I read The Reformatory by Tananarive Due last year, and it was spectacularly good. And it's about Jim Crow era Florida. And it's about a black boy who gets sent to this reformatory after he, assaults a white kid, even though the white kid assaulted him first. And I was so, I didn't really know a ton about the US history with slavery and plantations and the Klan and everything. And so after I read The Reformatory, I was like shook. And I ended up lecturing my husband on generational trauma. And it was a whole cringy deal. But it really made me realize I want to read more about this because as a Canadian, we just don't learn that much. It's not necessarily our history, though it does form part of our history and we have our own things going on. But the US experience is just not something I know a lot about. So hopefully my husband doesn't get lectured after this one, but I am very excited to read it. And now we move to the April book box that I got, and I got an older pick called Canticle, and it is 100% a cover buy. I fully bought this purely for the cover. It's a historical fiction. It's about a woman named Alice and her life, I think, but I really purely bought it because this cover is just so stunning, and yeah, sometimes I just go on vibes. And finally, my April pick, and I'm so proud of myself for only getting 2 books in this box, even though I would have got a third if Japanese Gothic hadn't been sold out. Love Galaxy by Sierra Branham. And this is kind of a subgenre that I've been really enjoying recently. I read Aisling Rawls' The Compound last year, which is a pseudo sci-fi-ish dystopian, but it's following a bunch of reality show contestants in like a Big Brother style home. And I love reality TV show. I love Big Brother so much. And this is like Bachelor, Bachelorette set in space. And it's about this girl, Temmie, who goes on this show to win the heart of the prince and finds herself falling for the princess. So yeah, very much loving like reality TV books recently. Dungeon Crawler Carl being obviously the best example of that, but I really loved The Compound as well. So I have really struggled to not instantly pick this one up, but it's definitely going to be read sooner than later. I'm so excited for this. Man, I cannot get over how good this is. So next I got some books in a book swap. Yay, go me. Didn't buy them. Very proud of myself for that. My gorgeous friend Sophie said, oh, I'm going to bring some books to book club. I need to clear some space on my shelves. So I said, okay, great. I'll bring some books too, and we can do a book swap. So I brought 4 books. I was quite proud of myself. I have a very hard time letting go of my books. They're like my little trophies. I collect them. I hoard them maybe. But I very much have a hard time letting them go. So I brought 4. Very proud of myself. But then I came home with 4. So I did not really accomplish anything except for getting more books to add to my TBR. It's fine. But the great thing is that Sophie had Good Neighbors by Sarah Langan. And this is actually my book club pick for my In the Void book club because Sarah herself is going to be joining our book club in May. And I'm really excited to chat with her about her book. And I was so surprised that it was Sophie who had this book because Sophie doesn't like horror. She gets very easily scared and has nightmares. And so I've been trying to convince her to like dip her toe into some of the less scary stuff. So look out for a video coming soon about intro to horror for those who don't want to get nightmares. But yeah, so I was very surprised Sophie had this. I grabbed it right away. I was like, I've got to have this. This is my book club pick. It was perfect. So this is like a suburbanite kind of a thriller. I believe it's more thriller than horror. And it follows this like perfect neighborhood. And then this sinkhole opens up and a child falls in and dies, I think. And then all of the neighborhood secrets are revealed. So kind of very interested to see how this one goes. It'll be a while before I read this because our book club's not for another month. But yeah, excited to talk to Sarah about her book. Next up from my friend, she brought this one specifically for me. It's Hello Beautiful by Ann Napolitano, and it is about this guy who meets a woman, falls in love, and she has three sisters who she is incredibly close with. I think like Little Women vibes, but modern day. And then something happens with him that really challenges the sisters' relationship. So I'm really looking forward to reading this because I think Sophie and I know each other's taste in books pretty well by now. We've been in book club together for a while now. And so we read Sarah Damoff's The Bright Years, which is kind of like a slice of life story about multiple generations of this Bright family, a couple who then have a daughter and his mom. And I enjoyed it. Sophie didn't love it, but she said, read this one. It's similar, but better. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up sooner than later. And it is like, it's a chonker book. It's heavy. The next one I got from Sophie is Isola, which I think was one of Indigo's best books of last year. And this is a true, based on a true story. It's a fictionalized account of a true story of this woman who is an heiress, and her uncle spends all of her money on this expedition to New France. And on the way to New France, she's dragged along. She falls in love with someone she's not supposed to, and as punishment, he strands her on this isolated island. So looking forward to reading this one. I have heard it's quite slow. That's okay if the writing is good, so see how this one goes for me. The next one that I got from Sophie, I am actually thinking of passing along because the more I sort of look into it, the less it sounds like it'll be up my alley. But I got All Fours by Miranda July. It's a big sort of book club pick recently. But yeah, I just don't know that this is going to be for me based on what I've read about it. So I might pass this one along. Do let me know if you've read it, if you liked it, if I should read it or not, because I'm really questioning this one and whether it gets shifted along. I have so many freaking books already that I'm like, do I waste my time with this? Let me know. So the next group of books are a belated birthday present from my sister and brother-in-law, who are just the best. I mean, they went crazy, and I'm so excited for these. But first off, I got Turn Off the Light by Jackie Walters. And I tried reading Jackie Walters' debut novel, Dearest, last year, and I had to put it down. And I don't struggle with trigger warnings. I really don't generally care what the triggers are in a book. And I've read plenty of books with postpartum depression depictions in them. Like I loved Nat Cassidy's Nestlings, which does feature a woman character who's got postpartum depression. But Dearest was so evocative of my own experience with postpartum depression that I actually was being brought back into that time in my life that was such a struggle. And I had to put it down. I was like, this is too close to home. This is exactly how I felt. And it was so vivid still to me that I had to put it down. But I mean, to me, that's like the mark of a good writer. So I really wanted to read more of Jackie Walters. So then I heard Turn Off the Light was coming out, and Tanya got it for me. So she's the best. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's a dual timeline haunted house story. And it's a set back, I think it's in the 1800s, maybe earlier, with a healer, like pagan healer woman. And then in the modern day, when our main character goes home to take care of her father, her ailing father, and how those two stories kind of weave together. I'm really excited for this one. I really have been wanting to give Jackie Walters like a proper shot without having to put the book down in drama. So yeah, excited for this one. Next up, they got me The Fisherman by John Langan, and this is a cosmic horror book. Actually, don't really know what it's about, but I have heard that it is one of the scariest books out there. I am a little hesitant because I generally find cosmic horror like not that scary. It can be very enjoyable, but scary, not really. But I'm interested to read this one because it really gives me I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes. And I loved that movie so much. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like, they were so evocative of that time, that era in my life, that all these fun slashers were coming out. And so, yeah, I mean, it has literally nothing. There's no correlation between the storylines at all. But nonetheless, it really gives me the vibes of that killer with the fish hook. So very excited to read this one. And the birthday book haul continues with Chuck Wendig's The Staircase in the Woods. They got me all horror books, so there is quite a bit of horror in this haul, but lots of other stuff too. And this is about a group of friends. They're kids, like they start out as kids, they're playing in the forest, and this staircase appears out of nowhere. And one of the friends goes up the staircase, and then the staircase disappears, and he's never seen again. Cut to like 20 years later, the friends come back to town, and the staircase reappears. And they decide they want to go find their friend. So I've read one of Chuck Wendig's other books. It was called Black River Orchard, and it was about an evil apple, which sounds ludicrous, but it was actually really enjoyable. And it surprised me because it had like a lot of rotating POVs, which I generally don't love. Like I'm very character driven when I read. So I'm assuming this one probably has quite a few rotating POVs too. But I liked it in Black River Orchard and also in Craig D. Louis' Suffer the Children. So it can be done so that I enjoy it. So I'm interested to check this one out. And my favorite booktuber, Jordaline Reads, said it was really good. And she and I have somewhat similar tastes. So hopes are high. And finally, in the birthday book haul, I got My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna van Veen. And I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but my niece is Johanna, so that's what we're going with. And much as I like what this book sounds like, it's about a medium named Roos who holds seances, and she has a spirit companion named Ruth. Not going to get confusing at all. Roos and Ruth. And she is approached by this widow to hold a seance to reach her dead husband. And then things start going really awry. And Johanna van Veen is known for like these really evocative, gothic, atmospheric books. But I hate this cover so much. And it's purely this font. I don't know why they made this choice. I think this font is so ugly. It gives me total Papyrus vibes. And if you know what I'm talking about, yes, Papyrus. And if you haven't seen it, just Google Papyrus Ryan Gosling. You're welcome. So anyways, I hate this cover, but I am excited to read it. And Jordaline Reads, my favorite booktuber, said this was absolute perfection, gay perfection. So what more could you ask for? All right, now on to the shameful ones. The ones I bought myself just because. And first up is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. And this is book 2 in the Crimson Moth series, which is a YA romantasy series. And the first one was like crack. I just couldn't stop reading it. I read it in one day, and I immediately went out and bought this. And then I read this in one day as well. So I read this on April 1st, and I read the first one, which is called Heartless Hunter, on March 31st. And these are about this socialite by day, vigilante by night witch who is living in a time and place where witches are persecuted and killed. And of course, how she falls in love with the heartless witch hunter himself. So they were super cute. They were super fun. The first one was much better than the second, but I still enjoyed the second book. It was cute. And it's the only one of all of these books that I've already read. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's one of 2 that I've already read. So next up, I actually went to a really great book event with Daniel Kraus in Toronto a few weeks ago. And I loved Daniel Kraus's Whale Fall. It was one of my best books from last year. It is told 80% from the inside the belly of a whale. So it's about a scuba diver who gets swallowed by a whale. And you wouldn't think that that would be the most engaging book, but it was so incredible. He's got such a mind, and he's such a good writer. So he was touring for his new nonfiction book called Partially Devoured, which is the subheading here is How Night of the Living Dead Saved My Life and Changed the World. And so it's actually told like frame by frame of this Night of the Living Dead, the George Romero movie, like literally 0, 10, 23, and his own sort of reflections on his life throughout this book. It's so beautifully written. I've read the first couple of pages, and it was so fascinating to hear him talk about his experiences with George Romero and with writing this book and growing up with these movies. So I really enjoyed listening to him speak, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. He also signed my copy of Whalefall for me, which was very awesome of him. So not only did I pick up Partially Devoured, I also picked up his book Angel Down, which is his latest fiction piece. And this is about a group of soldiers in World War I who find a fallen angel on the battlefield. And it's kind of horror, kind of historical fantasy, but it is told in a stream of consciousness without a single period until the very last page. I'm a little concerned because I don't like stream of consciousness, but this just keeps going and going and going. And I think in Daniel's hands, it'll be okay. I think I can do it with his writing because of how good Whalefall was. I'm a believer. Next up, I did a little Book Outlet haul. If you know Book Outlet, it's the best place to buy books. If you don't, go to bookoutlet.com, bookoutlet.ca. You will not find better prices on books. The first thing I got was Salt Crab by Yume Katazi. And I've been eyeing her books for a while because the covers are just, I mean, they are so stunning. And they are sci-fi lit fic. But this one's a dystopian, there's something on the cover, oh no. This one's a dystopian novel where climate change has like ravaged the world. And this woman sets out on a journey to find her sister who's disappeared. So really interested to read this, and also just wanted it as a trophy book because it's so beautiful. But I also want to get the Stardust Grail by her because, again, the covers are, oh, they're so stunning. So looking forward to getting into these. I think they're a little bit slower burn, a lot more lit ficky than maybe sci-fi. We'll see. Next up, I was really surprised to find this on Book Outlet so soon, but Red City by Marie Lu. This is a fairly popular fantasy book that's come out recently, and it is fairly new. So I was really surprised. It also has like nice sprayed edges, which I thought was pretty cool. This is what pushed me to do my book order. This is a fantasy book about like a society that uses like alchemy as their magic system. I'm interested to see how this goes. I have read one Marie Lu before, but it was a young adult. So I'm hoping some adult fiction or adult fantasy will be more up my alley because I didn't love her YA book that I read. But it did make me interested to read more. And the cover's beautiful, so check it out. Another one that I got from Book Outlet and one that I'm really, really excited about. It's another one I have been eyeing for so long. I had this on my Christmas list, but didn't get it, is The Merge by Grace Walker. And this is a sci-fi, like an urban sci-fi. This is about a woman who had, like, her mother has Alzheimer's, which is a horrible thing to go through. And she's like traumatized by seeing her mother. So she decides to do this like merge procedure. And like this cover is so gorgeous. And the plot sounds really interesting. So I definitely I've been wanting it for a while and saw it on Book Outlet and thought, yes, I gotta grab it. It's so good. Another one that I was really shocked to find on Book Outlet is The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre, and by Philip Fracassi. And I had actually ordered this one from Aardvark, but they ran out of copies. So there was just like a miscommunication from the warehouse or something. They made it up to me in the best, most quick fashion. So I really can't say enough good things about their customer service. But I've literally tried to buy this before. And so I was really surprised to see it on Book Outlet. And I thought, great. But this is about a lady named Rose who lives in this retirement home. And there's a massacre. And if you know me, you know I love a slasher. And I really enjoyed Philip Fracassi's most famous book, which is called Boys in the Valley. It was a lot of fun, and I got really attached to the boys, and they're boys in an orphanage, and I got really attached. So I'm hoping that Rose is like the same kind of cute character that I will really enjoy reading about. Finally, my last one that I got from Book Outlet is Bringer of Dust by J.M. Miro. And this is book 2 in the Talent series. And I have book 1 and I've read it. It's called Ordinary Monsters. And I quite enjoyed it. But I have it in softcover. And I've only found book 2 in hardcover thus far. So when I saw it in softcover on Book Outlet, because we need matchy-matchy books, right? Can't have non-matching books. I jumped because I really did enjoy Ordinary Monsters, and I want to continue the fantastic story here of these like 2 characters who have what are called talents, magic, basically. Ordinary Monsters was very good, so looking forward to reading Bringer of Dust. The only problem is the side is all banged up, so it's okay. It's one of the first books I've ever had from Book Outlet that actually came banged up. For the price, I'll take it. Over. Then I couldn't help myself. I saw The Caretaker out just before release date, and I had to grab it because I really enjoyed Marcus Klewer's debut novel, which was called We Used to Live Here. If you're on Book Talk, you've probably heard all about it. If not, it was this twisty cosmic horror about a woman who opens the door one night to a family who say, we used to live here, do you mind if we take a look around? And then they never leave. So this is his sort of follow-up. That one was really well written and very interesting, but I found there was too many loose ends. It didn't get tied up, and maybe some plot holes even. So I did want to read more from him. I didn't have like the 5-star experience that some other people did with that one, but I think it's worth checking out his next one, which is The Caretaker, which is about a woman who gets hired for like this. She's super poor, super broke. She gets hired for like this 3-day job to take care of this cabin in the woods. And it seems too good to be true. It's a lot of money for a little bit of work, but she has to like do these rituals while she's at this cabin. And I guess things start to go wrong in a very weird and cosmic horror-y kind of way. So very interested to check this out. I've heard, again, very good things, which always puts me on my guard, especially since I wasn't like obsessed with We Used to Live Here. But Marcus Klewer is Canadian, and I love to support my Canadian authors. So I picked it up. I feel like I'm playing Jenga down here. The pile is like right almost at camera height now. It's ridiculous. Finally, second last, I picked up Mary by Nat Cassidy, and I have read this before. This is the other book I had read in this haul. So I really just picked it up because I loved this book so much. It was my introduction to Nat Cassidy, and it is one of my all-time favorite horror books, along with When the Wolf Comes Home, because it is so fascinating, and Nat Cassidy has this incredible way of writing female characters that feels right. And so Mary is about this 50-year-old woman she's in perimenopause. She gets fired from her job because basically she's too old. So, you know, this happens to people all the time. We get pushed out. And she's broke. She's having this weird issue where every time she looks in a mirror, she sees her face like start to melt off. And her doctor won't take her seriously. It's just perimenopause. Don't worry about it. So she ends up moving back to her hometown to move in with her really horrible aunt who kind of hates her. So it's a really unpleasant situation, but some weird stuff is going on with Mary. And it's so refreshing to read about a woman in perimenopause where like it feels like, yeah, that is, you know, not far off, like a real experience. And this actually makes sense to me. Not that I'm 50 yet, but, you know, still got a decade to go before that. But yeah, it really felt like a true experience. And I'm not reading about teenagers or 21-year-olds anymore as much. So I loved this. I would highly, highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in horror. It is a bit gory and pretty fucked up, so check your trigger warnings before you read this, but I really did enjoy it. And last but not least, I couldn't help myself. I picked up James Logan's Silver Blood Promise, which is the first book in the Last Legacy series, which is a fantasy series about this like card sharp con man, Lucan, who his father is murdered and he like goes on this quest of vengeance, I guess. And he meets Sophrona. So Lucan and Sophrona, this is the two main characters in this series. I've heard very good things. I believe it's going to be a trilogy. Third book's not out yet, which worries me a little. I hate starting trilogies that are unfinished. I hate starting series that are unfinished. I tend to be like a I need it now kind of person, if you can't tell from the giant stack of books down there. So very interested to check this one out nonetheless. I love a good fantasy series that's not too long. And as I said, I've heard very good things about James Logan and his writing. And so I saw it and I loved the cover. And I have been really wanting to get a bit more back into fantasy series reading. So yeah, not like I don't have enough to try out with my John Gwynns and my Fonda Lees and my N.K. Jemisons that I already have on my shelf and haven't read yet. I have a problem. Anyways, that was my last book. And didn't quite make it into frame. But yeah, my stack of books is up to here. It's up to my hip. I'm not ashamed of myself. I'm not ashamed of my lack of self-control, but I don't know where I'm going to put all of these books. So that is everything I hauled this month, plus my ridiculously good Raspberry Moon Stout. Thank you for supporting me in my deeply, deeply questionable life choices. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you'll drop me a like, give me a subscribe if you're interested in watching more great fiction and great beer content. Do tell me which books need to hit the top of my TBR and which ones I might want to consider passing along. And if you have read all fours, do let me know what you thought. Should I pass it along? Should I keep it and read it? I need to know. I look forward to seeing you in my next video where I will absolutely, definitely, 100% not have another book haul. I'm sure, probably. And I will see you in the next chapter. Cheers. All right, we're on autofocus. We're on low sound. I think we are good to go. Please, for the love of God, let this be good to go.